I just wanted to expound a little bit more on the focus wheel. From what I'm understanding is that around the edge we're putting everything that we are appreciating about a particular subject, and then when we're through putting all of our statements around, what we're focusing on is exactly what we want. Is that what we're putting in the middle, which can be different each time?
They can be statements of appreciation. That certainly is helpful. But what the actual process of the focus wheel is about is, in other words, what the actual function of it is you make statements about some desired subject that you already believe. And as you hold a statement that you already believe for 17 seconds, it will expand into a stronger belief about the same subject. And then when you make the next statement of stronger belief, and you hold that in your consciousness for another 17 seconds, it will expand into another stronger belief about the same subject, until by the time you've romped around the wheel a few times, you are vibrating at a higher place than you were when you started it. In other words, the purpose of the wheel is to make you become a better and 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 better vibrational match to your desire. You see, the formula for creation says, identify the desire and then offer a vibration that matches it. Most people don't do that. Most people don't make it through a whole sentence without contradicting their desire. They'll say, Abraham, I want more money. I'm so tired of the struggle. So they're offering contradictory statements, which means they're holding themselves, without even knowing it, vibrationally opposite of their own statement of desire. And the formula for creation says, identify the desire, contrast will help you to do that, but then turn and face and focus and become a vibrational match to the desire. Because when you are vibrating as your desire is vibrating, it's a done deal, you see. In every moment, you are offering a signal, not different from a radio signal, and the universe accepts your signal as your point of attraction and matches that signal constantly with things like it. Physical beings often make statements of desire thinking that that is enough, thinking that just by saying the word that that's all that there is to do, or by taking action while they're saying the words, that that's all they have to do. But what we notice as we watch you is that more than 90% of the time, as we watch our physical friends who are trying to deliberately create, the word and the vibration doesn't match. And the universe does not hear the word at all. The universe is responding only to the vibration. So the purpose of the focus wheel is to start with the word, find some little piece of something that sort of matches the desire. In other words, start anywhere you can, feel around till you get a hold of anything, and then focus there and let law of attraction carry it to another level. And then hold it there and let law of attraction carry it to another level. And then hold it there and let law of attraction carry it to another level. So much so that with a little bit of work, 68 seconds is enough. You can change the vibration of your output and bring it closer to the vibration of your desire, so that 68 seconds often is the equivalent of over 2 million action hours of the way you used to do it. You get the sense of, we appreciate your question. This is worth learning. Here's the way we would do it. Let's say that you have, give us something that you are wanting. In other words,
a home of my own.
A home of my own. Now, you would not begin by writing a home of my own in the center, because just by writing it there, what happens in your gut is, I don't have a home of my own.
Right.
So if you write a home of my own, what the universe is hearing is, I don't have a home of my own. In other words, the vibration that you're offering, because you hit it too head-on too soon. In other words, you got too specific. But you still know that that is what the goal is, but you don't write anything in the center to begin with. So then you try to find a little piece of something that you already believe about that subject. So you might say something like, a lot of people own their own home. Now you already believe that. It might make you feel a little uncomfortable because you're not one of them. In other words, only you know how that makes you feel. So if it feels pretty good, write it down. If it doesn't feel very good, then reach for something else that feels a little better. So then you might say something like, I have a home. No one's camped on the doorstep waiting for me to move out. In other words, I do have a haven that I call my home. Now, that might irritate you too, because you've practiced so long being irritated that you don't own it, or maybe you don't like it, so maybe that statement might not be the best one. You see what we're getting at? Each individual has to find the statement that just sits well. That's a good way of saying it. You're wanting to find a statement that at least doesn't irritate you. Doesn't have to make your heart sing, doesn't have to make rockets go off, but at least it is a statement that does not irritate you. You see what you're just reaching for anything. So you would begin by writing something like, many people own their own home. Well, it feels pretty good, so you leave it there. And ponder it for a little bit. Then the next statement that you write, and you're writing these in little clumps around your circle, you might write something like, many people who now own their own homes at one time were standing right where I'm standing, wanting it, but not having it quite yet. Well, that feels pretty good too, so you write that down. Then you would write something like, there are lots of homes out there, and certainly there is a right one or right circumstance for me. That feels pretty good. So now, even as we're saying this, can't you feel yourself lightening a little relative to the subject? Then you would write something like, I'm not exactly sure what I'm wanting, but I know I'll know it when I see it. Then you might write something like, it's fun collecting data about homes. Then you might write something like, I'm going to get out more and look around a little more specifically and collect some more specific data about homes. Then you might say, I already have some very good ideas about what I'm wanting, and it will be fun to add to them. It's going to be really fun to watch the universe arrange circumstances and events to help me in the unfolding of this. Can you feel how different it is feeling already? Now, once you've written 7 or 8 or 10 or 12, it depends on the subject. Some of them you'll be very prolific. Some of them it may be a little more difficult to come up. Doesn't matter. Just be gentle and write. Once you've written a few things around your circle, then we encourage that you read around the circle again. Read around the circle again. In other words, make your statements as you've written them. And as you do that, begin to draw some lines from the outside edge in, from the outside edge in, from the outside edge in, from the outside edge. In other words, as you read, draw lines. Because what begins to happen is you begin to feel a sort of energy vortex. It's the reason that we encourage you to call it a focus wheel. As you romp around that, you can begin to feel the general statement or the general energy become more and more specific until a statement almost explodes out of you, and you write it right in the middle that goes something like, my home is on the way.
Right.
You see what we're getting at? And with a little bit of effort, you'll get better at this as you play with it. You'll actually feel yourself now standing at a different point in this universe. And almost as soon as you finish it, the universe will start responding to you differently. Somebody will say to you, you own your own home, don't you? You'll say, well, that's coming. In other words, this time you won't say, no, I really been wanting to. You'll say, no, that's coming. In other words, you'll feel yourself in a different place. And the universe will feel yourself in a different place. And the manifestation will respond to you from your different place. And people question whether Abraham is really accurate when we say 17 seconds of pure thought is equivalent to 2,000 action hours. 34 seconds of pure thought is equivalent to 10 times that, 20,000 action hours. 51 seconds, that's 3 times 17, is equivalent to 200,000 action hours. 68 seconds is equivalent to over 2 million action hours. Esther said, Abraham, how can this be, and why don't I know this? And we said, because you usually don't cross the 8-second mark before you contradict your desire. You've been trained to be so objective, to weigh the pros and the cons and the pluses and the minuses. You want so much to be fair, and you want so much to be realists, and you want so much to face reality, and you want so much to tell it like it is, that you keep shooting yourself in the foot. And you don't allow yourself the benefit of utilizing the energy that creates worlds. The focus wheel is the best tool we know to help you to begin to utilize the energy that creates worlds and focus it toward your new home.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Very good.